Hello guys, I'm DoG Braden, and what I'm going to bring to you for this new series that we're going to be starting is going to be a gun review. What it is it's going to be myself, my subscribers, the subscribers to the channel, will be able to vote in what gun they want me to be stuck with, if it's going to be something great like the Galileo, or if I'm going to get stuck with a little secondary pistol that I'm going to have to showcase. The entire time is just going to be a game that I use it, and I'll just talk about the gun, things that work well for it, things that don't work well, the attachments that I think, in my opinion, work the best for the gun. How I'm going to be doing this is it's going to be pretty basic. I'm going to be playing some team deathmatch, not hardcore, just the core, and my kill streaks are always going to be 3, 5, 7. It's going to be napalm, it's going to be the helicopter, and it's going to be a UAV, just to keep things pretty standard amongst all the films. So the first one I'm starting off is the AK74u. I find that this gun is a really good close and mid-range gun. For long distance, you're not going to be able to get those nice headshots from afar. Definitely the iron sights, I do gotta say, are they're pretty good for iron sights. I've tried the red dot on it, and I think it's alright, but there's a lot of better other attachments you could be using. With this gun, the only attachment I seriously ever use for it is the grip. I find that the grip takes this ordinary gun and it turns it into something that you can find yourself getting a lot of kill streaks, a lot of kills with. It's a lot steadier. I do find it does add a little bit of more recoil to it. But your ability to run around, especially in the close or this medium range distance, it'll definitely jump up in your steadiness. The only other attachment that I would give it any worth, especially on smaller maps such as Nuketown or the extended mags, I do find you go through clips pretty quickly, especially on those smaller maps. So keep that in mind. For perks, I don't like to tell people what kind of perks they like to use. We all like to use our own kind of perks. I find with this gun, sleight of hand for your second perk is definitely something to look into. Just because I found myself getting stuck between two people and I don't want to die between a reload, because that happens to me a little too much. So sleight of hand, really great, especially if you have the pro version, so you can look down the sights a lot quicker when you come out of your running, which we all do a lot. For your first perk, I personally like hardline, especially with this kind of a close range, mid-range gun. You're able to rack up those kill streaks a lot quicker. The only other first perk that I would consider for this kind of gameplay when you're close quarters, medium quarters, is scavenger, just because you do run out of bullets pretty quick, especially if you're not rocking out with the extended mags. If you are scavenger, you don't really need, because you do have that extra bullets. But if you aren't, that would be the only other attachment I would even consider putting on the AK74u. The silencer, you gotta sit there, basically pull up a seat and just sit there and shoot the guy for about a minute with the silencer before you ever kill him. The tape magazines, if you have sleight of hand, that extra fast reload isn't going to be as important, just because you're going to have a faster reload anyways. Reflex sight versus red dot sight, once again, between the two, it's personal preference. And if you're going to be going with the close and medium range, I find these iron sights to be a pretty good secondary, instead of having that taking up that attachment slot. For your third perk, the glorious third perk, for me, marathon. Sometimes people like ninja. It's really up to you. I find those third perks aren't nearly as important as the first two. But if you're going to be running a little more run and gun, that extra running sprint from marathon is going to come in handy. But that silence, especially for ninja, would be handy if you're more of a kind of a stalker, kind of want to lurk around the corners and get people like that. So that's a little bit of the classes I would use for this. For other attachments, like I said, grip, it takes this gun and it just puts it to a different level. Very stable. For maps that work with this one on jungle, not necessarily the best map to use this gun on. I kind of got stuck in it and it turned out to be a half decent game. But for launch, I find this gun to be one of my personal favorites to use on that map, just because it's not long sights. This jungle does have some pretty long sights in it, where this gun just doesn't quite meet up. That's where you'd want to look at something like the Galil, another personal favorite of mine. But yeah, these videos, I'm going to be doing them, I guess, whenever I kind of have enough time and there's enough people that have voted for the weapon. So I started things off with this AK74u, and I want the subscribers or anyone else to comment on the video on our page or the channel's comments, and just leave your vote for the gun that you want myself to do and do this kind of review for. So please leave your comments about that. I'm open-ended to anything. If it's a secondary, you want me to showcase a pistol, or if you want me to even showcase like the crossbow or the ballistic knife, those sort of secondaries versus snipers and the primary weapons, feel free to leave that. I'm open-ended. You can make me rock out with a pretty good gun, or if you guys want, you can make me get stuck with a pretty crappy little pistol that I'm going to have to run around and figure out how to use it well. So please do comment. These videos aren't for everyone. I know we all have our own perks and our own classes we like. I just want to talk about the ones I find work well for me and in general. So keep that in mind when you do post anything, that I'm doing this for you guys, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a slight little opinion on my things in Black Ops. I'm not a very good person at the game. I like to think I'm half decent, but I'm no pro. If you guys have any other suggestions on how to do these videos, I'm more than welcome to take them look at them and figure out what kind of changes I should do. So, but other than that, this was the first gun review, the AK74u. I hope you enjoyed it.